Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today we are talking about the power of daily habits of exercise and why it is critical to your success. A lot of people don't really understand this. They don't understand what we mean by a daily habit. A lot of people think that we're talking about killing yourself with high intensity interval training sessions. We're not. We're going to talk to you about it all in this show, so stick around.
What's up, everyone? My name is Yanni Baumeister, and with me across the table is my brother Rad. Behind the cameras and all the cool stuff is Richie. Together we are Unity Gym and the founders of the Unify Movement System. Now, if you want to know more about how we turn driven people into superhumans, you can. We give away all of our best tips and insights for free in our blueprints. You can download the flexibility, strength, or nutrition blueprints from the description of this. If you're watching the replay on YouTube or listening to the podcast, it's all there. We're also streaming live to the UMS Movement Mastermind. So good morning to everybody. If you want to, you can become part of that group and become etched in history as part of the production of the Sound of Movement podcast. Get on over to the UMS Movement Mastermind private Facebook group. How are you today, Rad?
Pretty good, mate. I'm actually great. I feel really good today, largely because training last week went well, but mostly because last week I overdid it a little bit and I spent the whole week, nursing an angry shoulder, and I didn't do that today. And It was from Monday's workout.
Yeah, right.
Those tiger push-ups, man, they are tough. Tough. But no, I'm feeling good. Had a great weekend. Had a really good weekend with my son and my wife. Had a really productive week. And last week. So yeah, looking forward to another great week.
Awesome.
What about you? How are you?
I'm okay. I'm pretty knackered, actually. I've had
a tough
pretty
week.
traumatic week last week. And I need to... Today's very on topic for me today. I need to just hit the reset button and sort of just focus on making things really simple this week. Get back to exercise every day. Get back to eating healthy, getting more sleep. We had, for those of you who don't catch us every day, one of my kids was really sick last week in hospital with an infection that took a few days in intensive care or in emergency to figure out what was going on, and he's okay now. He's back at home, but it was
that was a scary time. That was scary enough for me being an uncle. So must have been full on being a dad.
It's always freaky when your kids are in hospital. It's the first time with little Elijah. He's only 2.5 years old, and it just wasn't very good. Lots of stress, very little sleep, and then that tends to catch up on you, and that's how I'm feeling today.
Well, I'm going to drive this show a little bit now because Yanni, if you watched our morning show this morning, Yanni was struggling, but now you know why. And today we're talking about the power of a daily habit of exercise. Last week we introduced the health hierarchy of needs, and it goes like this. At the bottom, you have motivation. You first need to deal with motivation and create a burning desire for your goals if you want to actually succeed. If you want to push through those rainy days, if you want to push through the cold winter days, the days where you're feeling a bit sore, you need a burning desire. The spark that ignites the fire, which is the goal of wanting to lose fat, the goal of wanting to get in shape, the goal of wanting to do a muscle up or do the splits. That won't get you very far. You need that burning desire. Number 2, the daily habit of movement, of exercise, which we're going to talk about today. Number 3, nutrition. You need to nail your nutrition before you move on to the higher level stuff. Number 4 is physique. We want to get into a healthy body, of a good body composition with lean muscle mass. And number 5, the last one, is mastery, which is what a lot of our tribe are moving for. So today, last week we spoke about motivation, and that's something that we're going to be talking about a lot more over the coming months and years. But today and for this week, we're going to be talking about the power of the daily habit of movement.
That's right. And look, there's a very, very important reason why this comes next. After you identify your why, your reason for getting up in the morning to get yourself to the gym, the next thing, and a lot of people will say, oh, why don't you focus on surely nutrition is more important. You know, you got to feed your body and soul and this and that with good, healthy food. But the reality is, and this is like, I cannot stress this enough, it's so real for me today. The number one thing that I can do today that's going to set me up for better performance, better mindset, better mood, better everything for the rest of the week is to just get my workout done today. Yeah. And that is literally my focus today. I've got Mondays is usually a very, very busy day for me, and we do all the finance, we do all our meetings, we meet with our assistants and all that sort of thing, and our team, and it's pretty much just meetings and doing spreadsheets and finance for me on Monday. But I am like prioritizing no matter what. As soon as this show ends, and I've even gone so far as to just go and get changed into my training kit. I don't know if you can see me here. I was in trackies and all that because I just have to get my workout done no matter what. That's what's happening next, and nothing comes in front of that. And this is so important for a lot of people. It's the next step to getting momentum.
Well, it's the power of habit, right? What we actually operate, it's between 40 and 60% of our decisions that we make every day, or of our actions, are not actually decisions that we make. It's just habit. And this is coming from the book The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. So you think about that for a minute. 40% of what you do in a day, minimum, statistically, is not a decision that you make. It's a habit that you've formed. And those habits are very, very powerful. They either lead you to where you want to be or where you don't want to be. So the idea is that we want to create healthy habits. We want to create habits that take us closer to where we want to be, rather than the habits of like sitting down on the couch and getting into the Tim Tams after dinner. You know, those kind of habits take you away from where you want to be. So yeah, that's what we're talking about here. And we probably should talk a little bit about why, because a lot of people that are listening to this might not understand why we recommend daily exercise. When they talk about, they say, man, there's no way I could train every day. Like I train 2 days in a row and I'm stuffed. I need to have a day or two off, and then I'll train again, maybe on, Thursday, and maybe I'll train again on Friday or Saturday. Well, if that's the case, you're training the way that we used to train, and you're training the way that so many people used to train, and that we've identified delivers inferior results to training submaximally daily.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the old notion of you're trained for physique. I did a post yesterday, and I don't want to go too far out into the reeds on this, but I shared my feelings on the notion that gyms at the moment with COVID-19 and the health pandemic, gyms seem to be bottled into the same category as beauty salons. They're talking about, beauty salons and gyms will reopen soon. And it's this whole notion that, and I think it's a massive oversight by the general public, that gyms are like a big fancy beauty salon that you go to make yourself look good, forgetting that exercise is actually an essential thing for health, for overall health. You have to exercise every day to be healthy. And, a big part of that is not just stressing the muscles so that they grow bigger or burning calories. It's everything that happens from exercise. On a physiological level, there's chemical byproducts to exercise that are far superior to any of the aesthetic results, and I just think that, we need to look beyond that superficial, why am I exercising? Oh, because I want to look good, or I want to be sexy, or I want to build some muscle, or I want to lose some fat. There's so much more to it than that. And you need that every day, because none of the bad things that happen to your body have a day off. You're constantly being bombarded by all sorts of different stress, all sorts of different toxins and crap that your body's having to metabolize and filter and I just think that you need to understand that exercise, that dose of exercise, is very important, if not just to keep the habit burning.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the truth is that the goals that the goals that everybody wants, you either look, the main goals that people want when they come to a gym is they want to either look good, feel good, or be able to do something that they couldn't do before, or overcome some kind of chronic pain or injury or whatever. And every single one of those goals takes much more consistency than what people are led to believe. And it's not your fault, the listener. It's not your fault that you think that you can get in great shape if you smash yourself for 30 days or 90 days, because we've been told this kind of stuff for decades. For decades the fitness industry has been telling people that you can get shredded for summer, or that you can do this or that in 90 days, because everybody wants the magic pill and everybody wants the quick fix. So it doesn't matter if you want to look good, it doesn't matter if you want to feel good, it doesn't matter if you want to overcome chronic pain, or if you want to be able to do amazing movement skills. The greatest results, and the only real significant life-changing results, are going to come from consistency and frequency, not intensity. It's not about how bad you flog yourself in every workout. And you and me have learnt that the hard way, man. We have taken so many times weeks off training because we've been smashed by business, and then we try and go back in where we left off thinking, I'm going to make up for these last couple of weeks by doing a really hard week of training, and you injure yourself in that first week. And the only way that we've, and on the contrary, when we've accepted that we can't always train at the highest level intensity, but we just do a daily habit of something, so there's some days where we come out and we do workouts that only go for half an hour, or 40 minutes, and we barely even break a sweat. You just do a little bit of a warm up and a little bit of movement, but all of those reps, all of those stretches that you did, that all adds up. It's like putting $1 in the bank every day, or putting 20 cents in the bank. Some days it's still money going in the bank, and it still adds up to your bank balance at the end of the year. And it all just adds up, and it creates the results that people are looking for. And that's why we're really banging this drum of daily habit of exercise, not when it fits your schedule. Like you've got to learn to build your schedule around this to see the best results.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't even have to
it doesn't have to be much.
No.
It doesn't have to be much initially. Like this is, there's a lot of scientific research and literature that supports just 10 minutes of sort of a high intensity session will get really good results for your overall health. But what we're trying to do here is build a habit.
Stretching,
and it's just the routine. It's just the routine that'll get you there. So we say to people often who, are struggling a little bit to get some momentum, just aim to get yourself through the door of the gym, just get yourself through the door and get aim to get one set done, and then build on that. And sometimes that'll be enough for you for that day, depending on how you feel. But, the second step is 100% the daily habit of exercise, because it has a tendency to flow into everything else that you do.
Well, that's why we chose it as the second step. Yanni and me were when we were creating this health hierarchy of needs, we created it. It's patented. It's Unity Gym. Nobody else thought of this before. We were talking about nutrition or exercise, which one comes first. And the reason why we chose exercise, the daily habit of exercise, before nutrition, is because it is so much easier to do.
Yeah.
Don't ever think that it is going to be harder to move daily than it's going to be to clean your diet up enough to make real change in your life. And so it has a roll-on effect. It has this, any win that you can get, any win will empower you, and it'll make you feel like, oh my God, I can do this. And that's one of the reasons why we're talking about daily habit of exercise, not daily habit of killing yourself exercise, not train as hard as Yanni and me and Richard do every day, just anything, something that empowers you. Like Yanni said, 10 minutes. You know?
And that's what's key, is that it's about getting those small wins. The small wins build momentum.
My PC's out of batteries, unfortunately.
And you would think that thing is running on like nuclear power.
Are you kidding me? This thing has about 5 minutes of battery life. Look at it. It's got.
Are you serious?
No, I'm joking. I forgot to plug it in last night.
It's just insane. The battery, the size of the batteries in that thing that I'm expecting as big as a car battery.
Have you heard the fans say, mate?
Anyway, it's initially, and especially for those people who are just starting out. I mean, a lot of people are further along the journey in our tribe, and I respect that. But for those of you who are just starting out, initially you got to find some wins, and the small wins are going to come from the lowest hanging fruit, and that is the little habit of daily exercise, getting through your first workout. It may just be getting through your first warm up initially, then your first workout, then your first high intensity interval circuit, and then acknowledging the win of, okay, I've done the entire UMS program from start to finish now on one day, let's go for 2 days. Now let's try and build it to 3. And then eventually, before you know it, like so many of our tribe members who've come to the gym here and worked with us, they start out with 3 days a week thinking that that's going to be, that's going to break them. And before long, they're doing 5 days a week and asking us to, trying to kick the door downs on Saturday morning to get that 6th day in,
Yep.
And this is, literally, it's just about acknowledging where you're going to get that first win from, and then building on that.
Yeah. And we should talk about the importance of this. This isn't us giving you our opinion on what is important for health. This is what is essential for health. It's not just Yanni and me and Richard saying, oh, this is what we believe. Sometimes we really forget how radical the change has been to our lifestyles since the Industrial Revolution. And the Industrial Revolution, it only began in the late 19th century, so it not a long time ago. Only 130 years ago or so did we start to get.
And I like to put it in context when you say 130 years.
Well,
that's less than 2 people ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's less than 2 lifetimes.
That's exactly right. And if you think about like humanity, Homo sapiens have been unchanged genetically for about 130,000 years. And before that, it was like maybe 1% different genetics, for the million years before that or whatever it was. So in 130,000 years, our genetics have not been. This actually blew my mind. Did you guys know if you could travel back in time 70,000 years to when people, caveman times, the people, the Homo sapiens that you could interact with would have the same cognitive ability to understand language that we have now. So if you spent 3 months talking to them, they'd be able to talk back to us.
Yeah.
Our brains were just as developed.
That's 70,000 years ago.
That's 70,000 years ago, right?
Yeah.
If you want to know where we're getting this from, what was that book called?
Sapiens.
Sapiens, yeah.
Yeah,
it's an amazing book, really, really amazing book. So you think about that. For up until 5,000 years ago, we were running and throwing spears to catch our food.
Yeah.
So over 90% of our time was spent hunting and gathering for food. That's what we did. We were on our feet moving around.
Yeah.
And less than 10% of it was sitting around doing whatever. 5,000 years ago, the agricultural revolution started. Guess what? We were now out in the fields for 18 hours a day, moving the cattle around, building fences.
Destroying our lower backs.
Yeah. Everything that we did. And only in about probably since the 1950s, I think, was when fast foods really started to emerge.
Yeah.
And, so the change that we've had.
Essentially, we are part of a big social experiment going wrong.
Yeah.
We're starting to see the true effects of removing daily physical exercise, like mandatory daily physical exercise, compulsory. It's not a choice.
And here's something else. When was it? It was in the 70s or 80s that it was recognized that that obesity and people being overweight was a problem. Guess what? How much have we as a society, how much of the governments, of the health organizations tried to change what we do to make us fitter and healthier? And guess what? It ain't working. We're getting worse.
Yeah.
We're getting fatter and sicker as time goes on with all of the nutritional changes that they've made. None of it's working. We have to start moving more. It's a part of our lives. It's a part of who we are.
And it's just about keeping it simple. Yeah. It's so obvious. It's so bleedingly obvious that, since we removed daily physical exercise, daily physical activity from our lifestyles, it's all gone catastrophically wrong.
Yeah. And this is going to come as a real shock to a lot of people, but an hour a day is like the minimum requirement. Like a lot of people would say, I can't fit an hour a day in. And I'd say, well, you are not meeting your body's bare minimum requirements to stay healthy. And if that's something you're willing to do, there's issues coming down the road, Yeah. So this is why we've framed it now. This is why we are talking about the power of the habit of daily movement, and it can be as little. Honestly, you could on a Saturday or a Sunday, it can be that you go for a walk for half an hour. You just get up and walk, and on your walk, when you get to the end of your walk, do 10 squats. Stretch back a bit, rotate your spine a little bit, just move your body daily.
Carmine's saying here, GMO and preservatives in the food doesn't help. It certainly doesn't, but trust me, Carmine, if everyone exercised enough, it wouldn't matter what foods we ate. It literally wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know,
in terms of being in a healthy body
well,
composition. Anyway.
the thing you got to understand is that when you exercise, when your body's exercising, it metabolizes and processes foods and chemicals in a completely different way. You know, your body, your muscles are secretory organs that are secreting hormones like testosterone and growth hormone that, you know, have a radical effect on how your body processes foods. And what we're finding with a lot of research and literature is it doesn't really matter the diet. If you have a healthy calorie balance, which requires you to burn food or eat a hell of a lot less, you will generally stay quite healthy, you know. I'm a firm believer that you should be eating healthy foods. We certainly preach that. We certainly don't agree that processed foods is the way that you should be eating, but there is a lot of good science to indicate that the calorie balance is the most important thing. You know, there's a huge trend towards intermittent fasting and time restricted eating, and there's some great science that I'm really into in regards to that, helping to regulate cellular autophagy and the healing processes in the body. But when push comes to shove, the best way to upregulate all of those processes is exercise, irrespective of how you're eating. And then if you're in a negative calorie balance, it upregulates even more, so you get more of the body's internal housekeeping and healing processes. And then the icing on the cake is is abstinence from food calories for periods of the day, you know. But that's like the icing on the cake. You still can have a cake as long as you're exercising every day. Yeah, that's right. So, you know, we put a lot of emphasis on the food, the quality of the food, you know, all of this sort of stuff. But I personally believe that that's all just distracting us from the key factor, which is exercise is the most important. Yeah. You know, for sure. I can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're gonna get into nutrition next week. Next week we're going to talk about nutrition, and it is obviously it's important, but that's not the topic of discussion for today. It's movement, and this is why we've worked so hard, and we continue to refine a program where within 1 hour we can deliver a workout that ticks the main boxes of the main things that you need, which is strength, flexibility, and cardio fitness. And of course, movement patterns that strengthen cognitive function, complex movement patterns as well. And, you know, there's a lot of things, other things that you can do as well, but it's like, how much time have you got? And so that's why we've created this 1 hour UMS format, you know, and everything else that we have that we teach people in our UMS online coaching group is, they're all add-ons. It's, if you've got a little bit more time and you want to learn how to do a handstand or this or that or whatever, then, you can add on to it. Yeah. But at the core foundation is just to try and get something done daily that improves your strength, improves your flexibility, and improves your fitness and reduces body fat and keeps you helps to build lean muscle, keep your joints healthy, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Tomorrow we're gonna dive deeper into that efficiency factor, because especially in today's modern day and age, we're already seeing a trend of people struggling to get onto the morning workout as we move back to a little bit more normality in our work life, back to the way things were before, at least, where we're going to work in the day, we're not in lockdown, and people are already saying, I'm really struggling to get onto these workouts now and things like that. So, I can't stress to you how important efficiency is, and
well, it's critical. We've had so many people walk through our doors who say, that they do dragon boating or cycling or squash or tennis or whatever at a really competitive level, and they're in very good shape when you look at them. But what these people often say to us when they come in, because they see our advertising, and they say, but I just need to get flexible. I need to do some flexibility training. I say, okay, cool. Well, this is what we've got. And they say, I can only come in like once or twice a week because of X, Y, and Z commitment. So most people can't exercise more than once a day. But coming in once or twice a week to try and tackle something that needs to be done daily, it's not effective, it's not efficient, and those same people, they never last because they realize it pretty quickly. And that's why it's really important to decide what you're going to do with that precious 1 hour that you've got to exercise every day. And is it going to tick all the boxes for you? Is it going to make you strong, flexible, and athletic, or is it just going to tick one of those boxes? Because if you approach your health and fitness from a perspective of, I want to do weightlifting today and stretching tomorrow and this the next day, 9 times out of 10 it doesn't work. It doesn't deliver the results that people are hoping for, and it leaves people unfortunately lacking, Or what most people do is they double down on the thing that they love. So you get people that do yoga every day and then they try and do weights once or twice a week, or you get people that do weights every day and they think they're going to stretch once or twice a week and get a good result. And it just doesn't really work like that. But we'll go deeper into that tomorrow.
Absolutely. Lee Clements is saying, thanks for doing Monday to Friday workouts. My body took a bit of adjusting from 3 CrossFit plus some other exercise, but now I need every day. Educated. It's great insight, Lee.
Lee, did I think I remember talking to you either over the phone or email or messenger before you started, and I remember that you were, if it wasn't you, it was somebody that had the same deal. They were going to CrossFit a few times a week and they just couldn't fathom how I was telling them to train 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Let me know if that was you.
Aidan Potts has highlighted pretty much what we're talking about today, which he says, to build context, also so important how much better you feel after just moving your body. Sometimes I'm dead tired, wanting a nap, and if I just start and get through the 18-minute stretching routine, I'm 100 times more energized and feel great. This roll-on effect will help nutrition and keep you on track. That's exactly right, and that's exactly why we chose exercise, daily habit of exercise, as the second key step to health, because it tends to affect everything. And I don't know whether you guys can relate to this. Like, I like to travel. Kalisha and I, it's one of our family values is exploration and travel. No matter where we go, if we prioritize doing a daily workout in the morning, because everyone knows what it's like when you're on vacation, you just tend to do things a little bit silly, meaning, your nutrition and drinking alcohol and things like that becomes a little bit more prevalent. And we make sure that we prioritize a daily workout. And I've found that no matter where I am in the world, if I get a daily workout in the morning, whether it's in the hotel gym or whether I find a local gym and join up while we're there, it affects the rest of the day. I'm far less likely to sit around a pool drinking cocktails at lunchtime. I'm far less likely to binge eat. It just has this rippling effect throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Katie McDonald saying body and mind motivation. Thanks so much, guys. You're absolutely welcome. Thanks for tuning in. We wouldn't have a show if none of you weren't tuning in for it. So thanks for sending us some love.
Big shout out before we wrap up to everyone listening on the Sound of Movement podcast. It's growing exponentially. I think we're at about 5,000 downloads now, which is pretty cool. Listens, it's pretty awesome. And also the anyone watching the replay on YouTube, the YouTube channel is crushing. We're very, very close to hitting that 30,000 subscribers. So thank you all. Welcome. And welcome to the UMS Movement Mastermind for all the newbies. This group is growing super, super fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And one last reminder, you have about 30 hours left to get the Spine Mobility Masterclass at an amazing discount with a couple of bonuses thrown in there. You won't have another opportunity to get that program at a discount for a long time, and it is an unbelievable program. If you want, honestly, the best thing that you can do, the biggest bang for your buck thing that you can do every single day with absolutely no equipment anywhere in the world, it is spine mobility.
Yeah.
If there is one thing, and I honestly mean this, if there is one thing that I do not go one day without doing, it is spine mobility. It's the only thing that I do every single day. And if I don't, I'm in the chiropractor once a month.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very quickly, we're at 59 members in the UMS Movement Mastermind. 73 new members joined the group last week. Welcome to you all. If any of you catch this replay or live, give us a shout out in the comments and let us know what your biggest goals are for health and fitness.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. for leg day. Oh my God, I just realised what I've got to do tomorrow. That's such a hard workout. If you want to get a challenging leg workout in at home with no equipment, join me tomorrow at 7 a.m. and I'll kick your ass.
Boom. You heard it. You heard it first.
Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Well done, tribe. See you soon. Health is about performance, not just body image.
You better be willing to accept what you're going to have to do to get there.
We'll start focusing on movement goals, strength goals, flexibility goals.
When you nail that skill, it's there forever.
The body image goal doesn't get you that far.
It's the consistency and frequency that's going to get you there. It's not the intensity.
There's no shortcuts to mastery and movement. Destination doesn't change overnight, but your direction will.
The gym is not the place to beat up the body that you hate. It's the place to build the body that you love.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.